Hello and welcome to day 24 of the book Advent Calendar. It is finally here. It is Christmas Eve and there's one book left now. Mary went out this morning and she left me the bag on the side, and when I saw it, well, I nearly had a minor panic attack because I'll show you what I saw on the table. I saw it and I thought, this is the biggest book I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is ginormous. Is this like a punishment because I've been saying how great it is that all of the books are so short? But I picked it up and it moved. So as in, I think there are 2 books in here. I think she's done another 2-book thing. So we're up to day 24. It's the final day. I think there are 2 books in this bag. And after I open this, I'm going to add the stats of what these books are to the stats that I did. I did some yesterday afternoon. I looked at all the other books that I've got, and I've got a few thoughts about it, so I will share that at the end of the video. But first, let's have a look, see if I can get this the right way around. I'm not going to be able to do this because there's definitely more than 1 book in here. There's definitely 2 books. Okay, let's have a look. What is the first book? It is Mary Stuart, The Ivy Tree, day 24. Ooh, I've never heard of this or the author. But, there are 3. This is utter chaos. There are 3 books in this bag. Okay, so the next one is The Spoilt Kill by Mary Kelly. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is chaos. And this one is, The Chamomile Lawn by Mary Wesley. I've heard of this book. I don't recognise the author's name, but I've definitely heard. Is there like a TV show of The Chamomile Lawn? Introduction by Victoria Glendinning, who I love. So let's have a look. Oh my goodness, this is chaos. Day 24. Okay. So Anonymous suggested Ivy's Tree by Wendy Burton, which is not one of these books. Which wasn't available. Mary's drawn a sad face. But here's a book with nearly the same title. Plus 2 bonus Marys from Mary. Oh my God, I didn't even notice. There are 3 books by authors called Mary. I didn't even notice. That's so funny. I wondered why she put 3 together. Okay, so we've got okay, so an anonymous person suggested Ivy's Tree by Wendy Burton, but Mary couldn't find a copy of that. So we were trying to find, or I told her to find, the challenge was, here's my money, try and find them secondhand, either in shops or online. So that's what we've kind of been limited to. I mean, she's done pretty well, but she couldn't find Ivy's Tree by Wendy Burton. Thank you, whoever suggested that. But we've got The Ivy Tree by Mary Stuart, and we've got The Spoilt Kill by Mary Kelly, and The Chamomile Lawn by Mary Wesley. We've got 3 Marys. I mean, nobody needs 3 Marys. You only need 1 because she's perfect. But let's have a look at these books because I'm going to start... I don't even know which one to start with. I'm going to start with The Chamomile Lawn because I have heard of this and I think it might be a TV show. So it says, it is August 1939. Good time period for books that I like. I mean, I'm sure it was actually a stressful time period. Anyway, let's get on with this. It is August 1939. 5 cousins have gathered at their aunt's house in Cornwall for their annual summer holiday and ritual terror run. There is 19-year-old Oliver, back from fighting in the Spanish Civil War and desperately in love with the beautiful but grasping Calypso. Brother and sister Polly and Walter, and 10-year-old Sophie, orphaned at birth and unloved by her aunt and uncle. By the end of the evening, a war will have been declared and the lives of all 5 cousins will have been altered irrevocably. The Chamomile Lawn follows the cousins through the war and beyond into adulthood and old age, united by shared losses and lovers, by family ties and friends. As each of them grows up, they fight not just to survive, but to remain true to themselves and to those they love. I mean, that sounds amazing. That just sounds absolutely 100% like my kind of book. Thank you so much for that was one of the ones from Mary. I mean, they're all from Mary and they're all Marys, but that sounds great. Have you read this? Let me know. Let's have a look at the next. This is like a bonus. Christmas Eve bonus, 3 books. We've got The Spoilt Kill by Mary Kelly, another Virago book. Ooh, is it a crime novel? Virago modern crime classic. Mary Kelly has written 10 crime novels, the first of which was published in 1956. The Spoilt Kill was awarded the prestigious CWA Dagger for the best crime novel of 1961. Freelance detective Nicholson is hired by the owner of a long-established pottery, Shentles of Stoke, to uncover which employee is leaking new designs to foreign imitators. Masquerading as a writer, Nicholson insinuates himself amongst the staff, but in trying to whittle out the truth, he finds himself falling for the chief suspect, the talented, beautiful designer, Corinna Wakefield. The only employee not native to Stoke, with a broken marriage and a drink problem, Corinna is the wild card in Shentle's pack. Yet there are other tangled secrets and messy lives, and a panoply of motives and betrayal. Motives for betrayal. A dead body discovered in a tank of liquid clay complicates matters, I imagine it would, just as they seem to have reached resolution, and throws even Nicholson's loyalty under scrutiny. I mean, never heard of the author, never heard of the book. This sounds great. That's the second Mary of the day. And the third one, Mary Stuart, The Ivy Tree. Let's have a look at this as well. An English June in Roman wall country. White Scar, a beautiful old house bathed in sunlight. It will make a rich inheritance for one of 2 remaining Winslow heirs. The third, Annabel, died 4 years ago. When a young woman calling herself Annabel Winslow comes home to White Scar, a spark into the powder keg of ambition, frustration, and long dead love. Ooh. Mary Stuart has enjoyed critical acclaim and international recognition. I didn't know who she was. Since her first novel was published in 1950. I wonder if I do know who she is. Maybe I just don't recognise the name of... It doesn't say what her other books are called. Oh, she's written a lot of books. I don't recognise the name of any of them. You see, this is what I love. I love getting books by women. I love getting books by anybody who is kind of a little bit forgotten, maybe. I mean, I'm sure lots of you probably know who these authors are, but I just love getting books by people who might have been really, really popular a long time ago, but the books are out of print, and this is why I love finding secondhand copies. So, goodness me, we've got 3 books here. Thank you, Mary, for the 3 Marys. Thank you to Anonymous for kind of suggesting this one. You suggested a completely different book, but we couldn't get that. So thank you so much. Now we need to do some stats. I thought I'd only have 1 book to add to my stats, but I've now got 3. So I'll be back in just mere seconds for you with some stats. I'm now trying to gather all of the books from behind me, and for some reason I've decided to do it without turning around. I'm really not making life easy for myself. So I've adjusted the camera slightly because it's now slightly propped up on my laptop so that I can see the stats. Is that everything? Having a grope around behind me. Goodness me. So this book advent has been absolutely amazing. I really want to thank all of you for watching, for commenting, for liking, for the new subscribers that I've got this month. I do hope you'll stick around for more Thomas Hardy nonsense and non-fiction nonsense and all of these books, which I will hopefully get around to reading in 2026. I will be filming a video, hopefully today actually. I think I might try and film it today to go up before the end of the new year, about my kind of reading plans for next year and plans for the TBR reading spa read along that we're doing and other such things. So I'm going to talk about some of these books then and kind of what my reading plans are, certainly for January. I really want to thank everyone who made a suggestion of books to read. I know that there are loads. I haven't looked at the spreadsheet yet because I was waiting until after I had finished doing like the last opening, but I'm going to have a look and see what other books people have suggested and probably add those to my wish list on Storygraph. But I do know that there were over 120 suggestions, so there is no way we could have included everybody's. And I know that Mary was really focusing, as I asked her to, on books that we could get secondhand quite affordably. There are some secondhand books that you can get which are very expensive if they're imports. There were lots of suggestions that people gave of books that had only been published in America or Australia, and some of those were quite hard to find. So if your book wasn't picked, I'm really, really sorry, but know that I'm now going to look at the spreadsheet and hopefully it will be on my mind. If I haven't picked one of your books, one of your suggestions out of the bag this book advent. Do feel free to let me know in the comments. Also, if there's any other books that you think I might like. I mean, I don't know why I'm asking for more books, as if I don't have enough already. But you know, let's just like keep the love going, and then other people can look at the comments and they can see other suggestions for books, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? So let's have a little bit of a look at the stats. I was expecting to do the stats of 24 days of opening books and have 24 books, but I had 27, thanks to the chaos of my wife, who has included 2 in a previous one and 3 today. But I love that I didn't notice they were all books by someone called Mary for a start, but I also love that she included themed ones of all with the same name. So there were 27 books. Of that, there were 24 female authors, 2 male and 1 non-binary author, which is pretty good odds, because I did say that I mostly like reading books by women, so I really appreciate everyone listening to what I said and suggesting these kinds of books. So yeah, a good balance, I think. In terms of nationality, so I had a little tot up. There are 23 authors from England. I am including Doris Lessing in that. I did have to look this up. I didn't know that Doris Lessing was born in Iran, and she identified as different nationalities throughout her life, but she did live the sort of latter part of her life in Britain, and I think mostly said that she was British, so I'm including her in that. There were 4 Welsh authors, 2 Scottish authors, 1 Australian, 1 author from Vietnam, 5 from the USA, and 1 from Uganda. I think that's like a good spread. There are probably more English authors than I would, have liked. I would have liked a kind of balance in my reading from other nationalities. But I mean, I did specifically say that I like books written by women in the kind of early 20th century, and that's kind of what I think I've got. We're going to look at the year stats in a moment. There is only 1 book that is actually translated, and I obviously am not yet planning next year's book advent calendar, but this is so much fun every year that I think I will probably do it again next year. But Mary did suggest maybe next year we could just do translated books, and I think that's such a good suggestion. So I am not making any decisions yet, so don't give me suggestions, but I will think about it and see where I am with my reading next year. But I would really, really love, because that's kind of like the other category. We were talking about this the other night, and Mary did say, like, on reflection, she kind of wishes there were a few more translated books, because she knows that I really love to read translated fiction, and there's only 1. But that's fine, we still got lots of amazing books. So in terms of the years, there are 3 books that I got this book advent that were written in the 19th century, a good spread, one in 1863, then 1880, and then 1893. There's only 1 book that's pre-1920, which is written in 1917, or published in 1917, 3 books from the 1930s, 1 book from the 1940s, 1 book from the 1950s, 4 books from the 1960s, 6 books from the 1980s, 5 books from the 2010s, and 3 books from the 2020s. In my mind, this is why I love doing stats, because in my mind, I was thinking that there were more books from kind of the 1930s, 40s and 50s, but there's actually not that many. I mean, 30s, 40s and 50s is actually 5 books, but I think it's because a few of these are set kind of later back in time. So that's kind of why, in my mind, that's what I was thinking. But in terms of publishers, there's quite a good mix of different kinds of publishers. But big shout out to Virago, for which there are 8 books, and Harrow Press, of which there are 2, who are a small Welsh press. So 2 of the Welsh books were by Harrow Press, and they are a small Welsh publisher as well. In terms of books I had never heard of, so I've got 2 little categories for you here. Books I'd never heard of, 15. Like 15 of these 27 were books that I had never heard of the titles before. And in terms of authors and books I'd never heard of, so where I'd never even heard the title or the author, 9 of those, which is really great. I'm really, really excited about that. I'm also really excited to get a whole bunch of secondhand books, because I do love spreading the love, or returning the love, or what's the phrase I'm looking for? Continuing the love cycle. I'm going to stop. Okay, I don't know what it is I'm trying to say, but I do love having secondhand books. So of the 27, how many had I already read? None. Obviously, Mary very carefully planned this by looking at my story graph, because I hadn't already read any of them. How many have I read since December the 1st? just the one. I read High Rising by Angela Thirkell, which was the first book that we opened on day one of the book advent calendar. And then I had to go read a whole bunch of other non-fiction that I need to return to the library. But this is the only one that I've read so far. I quite enjoyed this. This was really good fun. And let's have a look. What's my next category? Oh, books I won't read. So last year, I think on this kind of like reflections part of the video, I talked about which ones that I thought were just not really my kind of thing, and I probably actually wouldn't read and would probably like immediately just like, no, it's not for me. And I think last year there was only 2 or 3, which was not bad actually for a complete stranger picking books for me, because I got them from a bookshop last year. But this year, 0, because I want to read all of these books. These are all really, really great. Between you and Mary, you've managed to get an absolutely exceptional pile of books. So well done, everyone. Gold stars for everyone. Really, really, really great. In terms of, so my last 2 questions I've set for myself, which I'm looking at on my notes. Books that I'm most excited about and books that I'm least excited about. So don't be offended if I say one of your books in the least excited, because I am excited for all of these, but I'm just trying to rank them just so we can talk about it. I haven't had breakfast yet and I can hear my stomach rumbling, so if you can hear it on camera, I'm so sorry. Shh. I wasn't hungry when I sat down. I thought, I'm going to have coffee and a blueberry muffin after this. I'm very excited. Okay, I'm moving piles of books now, which you can't see, so it just looks like I'm being weird. But in terms of book I'm most excited about, the one that kind of sprang to mind immediately, so this is definitely what I'm going to say, is this book by Sarah Collins, and this is Tied In, and this is one of the books published by Harrow Press. This is a Welsh author and a small Welsh publisher, and this one is set in the Great Freeze of 1963, and it's a kind of, it says on the back, it's a coming-of-age murder mystery set in an estuary town in southwest Wales. I mean, it sounds absolutely fantastic, and I think I'm going to get round to this first because it's winter. The little note is popping out. This was found by Mary in a charity shop. This was on day 7. So Mary thinks I will like this, and it says it's a novel about memory and the power of imagination, but it's a wintry book, and I feel like I'm most likely to get around to this, and I kind of want to read this, and I think we should start good with the Welsh authors. Several people suggested in the comments of yesterday's video that we should do a big Welsh read-along in March, so obviously that's a great idea, and I'm going to do that. But I'm going to start with this Welsh author because it just sounds like a great book, so I think that's the one I'm kind of most immediately drawn to. And then when I look at the pile of books, like, is there anything else? I mean, there's just so many. I can't pick which one like might kind of jump out to me. I'm really intrigued by this book because it's got a really long title. So The Thoughts and Happenings of Wilfred Price, Purveyor of Superior Funerals by Wendy Jones. This was suggested by Lily on day 15, and this just sounds like a great title, and it sounds like it might be good fun. So that's what kind of jumps out at me. I shouldn't finish with the negative, but least likely to read. I don't think there's any books here that I'm not going to at least attempt. I'm not like a Jennifer Loves Books level of DNFing, because she's like the supreme queen of the DNF. And I don't stubbornly kind of stick with absolutely everything I'm reading. I do DNF, but I'm not afraid to DNF is what I'm saying. But I think there are no books that I don't want to read, so they're all kind of ones that I will give a go to. I think probably the best way of looking at this is what I think, being honest, I'm sort of most likely to leave until the end of 2026, and will I get around to it? I don't know. And I've got to be honest, this one is A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin, which was, I think it was suggested by Coffee Beans on day 16, but this was on Mary's TBR and she just moved it to mine. And I think one of the reasons I'm sort of least likely to get to this one is not because of the concept, because although it's a sci-fi novel, and I don't tend to read sci-fi, I don't gravitate towards it. Gravity, sci-fi reference, oh yeah. It's not that. I think actually quite a few people, when they were describing it in my comments, like, oh, I don't think this will be your kind of book, and they described it as being kind of about culture and about language, and I just thought, oh my god, that sounds amazing. This sounds like exactly the kind of thing I would love. I think it's actually just because it's been on our shelves for several years now. Mary still hasn't read it. In a big pile of sci-fi books she still hasn't read, and I think it's just because of that. This spine has become so familiar to me. I feel like I won't necessarily like gravitate towards it. maybe I should try it sooner rather than later. And if I'm being completely honest, I think the next one that I'm kind of least likely to get around to knocking my camera there is the Doris Lessing, The Golden Notebook. I read the first page of this and it's phenomenal, but it's a big book. And I know myself, I know what I'm like. It's a big book. I think for that reason, probably some of the other big books. There's a couple, but yeah, I just think I really want to read this. But so this was suggested by Alice on day 9, and I really, really want to read it. So I just know myself though. So I'm just being honest. I feel like this is going to end up still on my shelves at the end of the year. But again, maybe I should start the year with some big books. Maybe not. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to. Go on, be strong, Jen. You can do it. You can read the big books. Okay, so that's it. Oh my God, that's the end of the book advent calendar. This has been just such a wonderful month. It has flown by. I have no idea where December went. I can't believe we're already on Christmas Eve. I'm very much in denial. So thank you very much to everyone who took part in this book advent calendar. That's the people who suggested books. If you've commented, if you've liked, if you've watched, absolutely anything. If you haven't commented so far and you've been watching these videos, even if you have commented, in fact, just say hi, comments below, just to let me know that you're here. Leave me an emoji if you want. An emoji of whatever you've been doing this winter, or whatever you're going to do over Christmas. So maybe emojis of books, wine, skateboarding. Is there a roast potato emoji? There should be. So yeah, just come say hi in the comments. Let me know any of these books that you are excited to read, especially your thoughts on the 3 Marys. I can't believe we've got 3 Marys today. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very nice restful Christmas if you're celebrating, or a break, or just kind of a nice day wherever you are right now. And I will see you very soon in another video. Thank you so much for watching.